is our COVID-19 project. What is COVID-19? COVID-19 is a member of the coronavirus family. Each virion is a ball of ribonucleic acid surrounded by a dome of protein for protection. It is surrounded by spiky projections. And here's an image of it, of the coronavirus on a cell. Where did it come from? The virus originated from Wuhan, China in late 2019. There are two main competing theories over the origin of the virus. The first theory hypothesized that it came from a wet market and is a zoonotic disease. The second hypothesis is that it was accidentally leaked from a lab. A zoonotic disease is a disease that can infect from different species, so like from animal to animal transmission. This theory says that COVID-19 jumped from other animal species to humans. It is hypothesized that bats were likely the source. This is believed because COVID-19's closest relation is a bat virus, which shares 96% of its genetic material. It is thought that it jumped from bats to pangolins then to us at a wet market. This is another competing theory. This is the lab leak theory. Usually when a human is infected, the cell needs to mutate before it can then infect another human. The previous theory would predict around 100 to 400 of these cases before it would be able to spread from human to human. If it was made in a lab, you would not see any of these cases. The World Health Organization investigated this and found none of these cases. Because of this, an American team mutated COVID-19 4,000 times and tested each one of those variations. They found that the virus was 99.5% chance for human infection. What the beginning part of this paragraph is trying to say is that for a virus to jump from an animal to a human, it's a lot easier for that virus to do that than it is to jump from a human to another human once it's infected. How does COVID-19 infect our cells? The protein spikes on the virus attach to the ACE2 receptors on the surface of our cells. The virus then fuses its membrane with the cell. This then allows the virus's RNA to enter our cells. Our cells then hijacked into making copies of the virus. And here's a photo of this. So we have SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19, and you can see it's binding to the ACE2 receptors. And then what it does is, because it's like the cell thinks it's a vesicle, it then goes inside the cell. How does COVID-19 spread? The virus spreads when small droplets are breathed out by an infected person. These droplets can then land on other people to be breathed in. It is spread in three main ways: breathing in air when close to an infected person who is exhaling droplets with the virus, having infected droplets land on eyes, nose, or the mouth, and touching eyes, nose, or mouth with hands that have had the virus on them.
Mask and COVID-19. Why is mask wearing suggested? When someone is carrying the virus, wearing a mask helps block most of the respiratory droplets, which is where the virus lives. Wearing the mask helps stop the droplets from spreading when you talk, breathe, or cough. It also helps when you sneeze or cough because it can help greatly reduce how far those droplets go. The CDC recommends that Americans wearing face coverings in public after they learn that COVID-19 spreads via droplets produced when someone coughs, sneezes, or even talks, and that people can spread the virus without having any symptoms. How do we get the most of our mask? Here are a few tips on how to get the most out of using our mask. First, you want to wash your hands or sanitize hands before and after putting on your mask. Mask must be well fitted to the contours of your face. Mask should be snug over the nose, mouth, and chin with no gaps. Don't touch your mask while wearing it. Remove mask by lifting off the ear loops without touching the front of the mask or your face. Wash your hands immediately after removing your mask and regularly wash cloth masks in the washing machine. When and where is mask wearing most beneficial? A mask is not a substitute for social distancing. They should still be worn in addition to staying 6 feet apart from others. They should be worn anytime you are traveling on a plane, bus, train, or any other form of public transportation. Also when traveling within the United States or internationally. Masks may not be necessary when you are outside by yourself, away from others, or with people who live in your household. Some areas may require masks to be worn. It depends on your local mandates.
How does the vaccine work? This is Dr. Joe Frenzel. He's the department chair of biology at Grace College and Seminary. He's also my uncle. According to him, the vaccine, it provides the mRNA instructions to the muscle cells that it is injected into to produce the S1 spike protein. It provides the nucleic acid instruction. It will dock to the ribosome like any mRNA in your cell does. Then that will be translated into protein, spike protein. Then that protein is eventually exposed to the immune system, and that's what generates immunity to the virus. This is how it works according to the CDC. The vaccine is given into the upper arm. It works by instructing our cells to produce the spike protein found on the virus. Then our cells metabolize that protein. Our immune system can then recognize that protein on the virus and fight it off. Our body can now fight off infection from COVID-19. How was the vaccine created? The vaccine went through a long process of clinical trials. It went through 3 different phases. And each one of those phases included all ages, races, and ethnicities just to make sure it worked for everyone with different genotypes. The research for mRNA vaccines have been available for decades, but they haven't really been used till now. But it's still very solid research, so you should still get a vaccine if you don't have one. Scientists have been developing vaccines for other coronavirus, and this helped give us a jump start on the development of the vaccine.
How to stop COVID-19. How should COVID-19 be stopped? Vaccinations will be the most important because new mutations of the virus continue to emerge and spread throughout the country. Vaccines are about a 95% efficiency, meaning 5% of those vaccinated become infected in clinical trials. Nothing can guarantee 100% of not getting it, but vaccines are the closest. How can we get back to 100% pre-COVID? Here are 3 theories that can help us get back to 100% pre-COVID. Herd immunity, which is when most of a population becomes immune to a disease or virus, making transmission of the infection from person to person unlikely. Second, vaccinations. The body can build immunity through vaccine. It can trigger the immune system into thinking you've been infected even though you do not get sick. The body makes protective antibodies to fight future infections. They made infections like measles, mumps, and polio more rare. Natural resistance. When someone is exposed to a disease or virus, the body will build antibodies as an immune response to fight off the infection. The antibodies stick with you to help protect and defend against future infections.
Here's our references and works cited page for all the information we got. And thank you.